Okay, that's what I thought.
It even got into like what type they might like based on that. I didn't care about that. I was just like, I've changed it a little bit for that. Yeah, I started looking at a statement there. Somebody with a sense of yeah. Up to you. I think there's some in there on top too. So there's some off water.
When are you going to get started?
Shortly. Are you stuck? Who else was that? Okay. Good. Is everyone here ready? What are we doing for mic setup?
think it'll be easier just to mic you up. Okay. Since there's quite a few of us.
Yep. Beautiful. Good work with that.
Feedback on there. All right, are we sounding okay there?
Sounds good, yeah.
Check, check.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah.
I'm gonna do my best to keep my mic out of your guys' shots. If I get too high up, just like throw something at me.
We'll just cut that part.
It's hard to hide that thing. Yeah.
Yeah. This is how you can tell I used to work at audio documentary. This is the mic I show up.
All right. Hopefully that works out there. Let me know when you're all ready. It works out.
Can you take a step to your
Left?
show like your logo?
Yep.
It's good for me. Are you good? Yeah.
Good there. Just gonna transition this over. Make sure you get the thumbs up from everyone. Good all around? Awesome. I'm just going to start off with a few pieces today, and then we can move into the questions afterwards. So first off, I'd like to thank you all for coming. Again, my name is Brett Deedon. That's B-R-E-T-T. Last name is Deedon. D as in David, E-E-D-O-N. Again, thank you for coming today. I'm proud to serve as the president of Local 851 of the International Association of Firefighters, representing over 350 firefighters and EMS personnel throughout Lane County. This evening, we're mobilizing support for a simple and urgent goal: creating a fire district here in Springfield and Eugene. And our current arrangement under Eugene Springfield Fire is stuck in a partial merger, and it puts the community members at risk. Our fire service formally began in 2007 under the then Eugene Fire Chief Randy Groves and Springfield Fire Chief Dennis Murphy. The first phase of blending of resources began in that 2007. In 2010, we had a functional merger. In that process, we were able to bring the department closer together. And with that, we were able to keep engines running, keep stations open. Service became more efficient, taxpayer dollars went further, and neighborhoods became safer. But that plan was meant to go through three phases. The first phase was the blending of operations. The second phase, a functional merger, what we're in now. And the third phase is the long-term solution. We haven't been able to get to the long-term solution. Today, while Eugene Springfield Fire may look like one department, to residents, the reality behind the scenes is far messier. And the disparity is increasingly a safety risk. As a union, we are starting this campaign to educate the public about the current incomplete setup of Eugene Springfield Fire and the risk it has to their safety. For nearly 30 years, study after study has recommended a fire district for Eugene and Springfield. The district offers a couple things. One, stability. Dedicated funds not at the whim of city budgets. Clear accountability through locally elected board. Operational efficiency, removing duplications and boosting effectiveness. And long-term strategic planning that delivers consistent, safe service for the community. With all of these positives, some leaders in Springfield continue to advocate for leaving the option of a separation on the table for Eugene Springfield Fire, all while voting through an additional 22 days of brownouts that will occur later in this fiscal cycle for Springfield's budget. That doesn't show me taxpayer reliability. We need to form a fire district in Springfield and Eugene. And that is a priority of our campaign today, is to be able to start educating the public on how we do that, the steps that need to be taken, and to get to that phase 3, that long-term longevity for fire and EMS services in Lane County and in Eugene and Springfield. So for those that want more information, we urge you to please visit helpeugenespringfield.com. We've broke down the benefits of a fire district, provide examples of other successful models throughout the state, and allow for you to sign up and see real-time apparatus and resources as we run out of resources every single day. I want to thank you all for being here. I'm open to take questions now, and I look forward to rallying together tonight to build a safer future for our communities.
So,
Go ahead.
how much of the impetus to do this now is what we have seen, with Eugene just having its issues with, do they pass an additional fire safety fund, or how do they close that budget gap? We've seen similar issues with Springfield. How much is this budget talk around emergency services causing you guys to say now's the time to bring up this issue?
Yeah. So the district proposal has been something that's been on the docket for 30 years. It's something that continues to get brought up. And what we see is a continued increase in call volume and yet no response to be able to address that call volume. So what we look at is taxpayer efficiency and the dollars that they're spending and what it's actually going towards. And yes, the budgets and where they're at this time in both Eugene and Springfield bring great concern to us as a local union as far as what the future of fire services look like in Eugene and Springfield. We have to go to both cities and determine what our budget's going to look like overall. It's incredibly inefficient, it's incredibly ineffective. When we try to be able to advocate for additional resources on the street, we have to go to 2 different city councils to try to advocate for those resources. It is not an effective system. So as we look to the options in the future, we look at an option that's sat there for 30 years now, and that's the fire district. Again, that's a model that's proved very well to work throughout the state of Oregon. We look at Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue, Clackamas Fire Department, McMinnville, Lane Fire Authority, Jackson County 3. There's a lot of examples of a fire district working out there, and when they see budget issues come up, the solution has generally always been a fire district. Alan?
You mentioned a bit ago in your speech there, study after study. I'm aware of one, the 2024 AD study. What are the others?
Yeah, so there's at least 4 studies that I'm aware of since 2004 that looked at districts' creations within Springfield and Eugene. Each city has looked at it independently and together. The main study that came out of 2009, I believe it's the ESCI study out of Portland, found that the ultimate goal for this merger would have been a fire district. It was the unification of funds, the unification of processes and operations, and that was the ultimate goal with that. We had another study done, I believe in 2014 or so, that came out of the ambulance transport committee at the county level, and that recommended ESF become a fire district. further studies that we looked at when we went to the international to see what additional resources we need on the street. The outcome of that was we'd actually need to double the stations that we have now to be able to respond at the national standard to be able to meet the 4-minute response times throughout Eugene and Springfield. And the only way to do that is looking at a system that can move to a stable funding source, and that's a district as well. The governance piece that came out this last year with the feasibility study, it had fire district in there as an option, but it specifically mentioned that the political willpower to go that route was the biggest hang-up, apart from compression issue that's in there.
So in the current governance review website, there's some phases that were discussed, and one of them talked about having a dedicated fire fund as one of the goals. I wanted to confirm if that ever happened to your knowledge.
Could you repeat the question one more time?
Has there ever been a dedicated fire fund between City of Springfield and Eugene, to your knowledge?
There has not been a dedicated fire fund. So what happens is taxpayer money comes into each of the cities through the general fund, and then out of that is proportioned to the fire department. So at the moment, Springfield encompasses about 25% of the budget, while Eugene encompasses about 75% of the budget, and that's proportional to the populations that are served.
And from what I understand with that 2024 feasibility report, it was recommending another IGA, but we have an IGA, so is it just recommending that we're doing the same thing?
So that's part of the confusion, and that's part of the messaging to the public, is understanding that there's 5 options on the table. One is separation, which we know is not going to work. It's going to cost taxpayers a lot more, and they're going to get far less resources out of it. The other option on there is the IGE model, the intergovernmental entity. That was the one that was recommended out of the study, and essentially that would pull us back a little bit more with a little bit separation, but that adds further complexities, would add additional costs, and doesn't solve the long-term financial and operational focus that we need. The other option in there is an IGA, the Intergovernmental Authority. That would operate an authority model, which would pull us out, but would basically be a fee-for-service model. Authority models can be popular, but they're not able to collect taxes directly in Oregon, and so with that model, we wouldn't be able to necessarily change our budget without the priorities of Eugene and Springfield changing. That leaves the final model, the fire district. Fire district allows for us to actually collect from the taxpayers. It creates a special district. You know your funds go directly to the fire department.
And is it correct that you could get grants and fellowships under that, where you can't under the correct?
So those are additional complexities that come with that. We look at other models throughout the state, like Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue, and they're able to bring in a lot of additional grants from the federal government because of the setup that they have as a district. If we were able to move to a district and become that single resource entity, we would have a lot more ability to say, this is the fire department that we need to be able to support and to be able to pull in those additional funds.
Would consolidation mean any change to your coverage area?
So consolidation, in our essence, would continue to be the borders of Eugene and Springfield proper, the residents that it serves. That doesn't discount the opportunities in the future to be able to cover additional areas. That tends to happen with districts. But our premise right now is to be able to cover Eugene and Springfield residents and to be able to fully functionally merge the department that we have now.
And then follow on that, what does that mean for the ambulance service area?
So the ambulance service area is controlled by the county, and so the county's delegation is to determine what the ASA or ambulance service area looks like for each area. At the moment, ambulances are primarily serviced off the revenue they're able to bring in. A district model could potentially provide additional revenue that would allow us to potentially add more ambulances, but that's something that we have to look at with the district option. We don't have the funds to be able to assess that at the moment, so ambulances at this time are purely assessed on the revenue they bring in to be able to provide the service that we can.
So you mentioned the extra funds coming in. That comes in via property tax. Yes?
Correct.
And with the actual nuts and bolts of getting this to go through, who has to say yes? Is it the 2 city councils? Is it the voters in a referendum? How's it go?
That's a great question. So at the moment, the decision lies with the governance committee that's been formed. It's between council members from both sides and city managers. And that decision ultimately would lead to, this is the direction we think the cities would go. City councils on both sides would then be able to vote to be like, this is what we want to move forward towards. And if it was to be a fire district, ultimately it would go out to the citizens to vote for the approval of a fire district.
What are you going to be talking about with the council tonight? Is it a public comment or is it a presentation?
So tonight is a public comment. It's an opportunity to come forward and really address to Springfield City Council. This is not an issue that we can delay on. We need to find solutions now. If you look at it today, we've been down to our last ambulance 15 times. We've been out of medic units at least 4 times. That's not a sustainable system. When we look in Springfield, the concerns that I have here is that a basic fire in Springfield would take every single engine and truck out of service to respond to that fire. As Springfield grows, as they look for opportunities to grow up and out, that requires complexity or brings in complexity to the system, and then that requires additional fire and EMS services. If we look at Eugene, Eugene is, since 1981, has not added an additional station or engine during that time, and yet call volume's gone up 1,000%. When we look at Springfield, in 2003, we passed the Springfield levy to be able to fully fund Station 3 so that we could actually have a full crew working there. Since that time, there's been no additional stations, no additional crews added. It's not the kind of dedication to the fire department as far as resource allocations that we need to be able to sustain and provide to the community. Any other questions? All right. Hopefully there's a good clip in there. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You guys, thanks all.